Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about another interesting coin that has been showing up in stories and videos all over the internet, the 1998 Washington quarter. You may have seen claims that some of these quarters are worth up to $3,500 or even more. That sounds amazing, right? Just imagine finding a regular quarter in your pocket that could pay for a vacation or a new computer. But how true are those stories? Well, the reality is that while most 1998 quarters are very common and only worth their face value, there are a few special examples that can be worth more depending on their condition, grade, or if they have a rare minting error. So in this video, we'll go over the history of this coin, what makes it special, how to spot valuable versions, and what the real prices are, from just 25 cents all the way up to the top numbers that some people talk about, like $3,500. Let's start with a bit of history. The 1998 Washington quarter was one of the last coins to feature the traditional eagle design on the back before the U.S. Mint started the famous 50-state quarters program in 1999. So, the 1998 quarter kind of marks the end of an era. On the front of the coin, you'll see the familiar portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan, which has been used since 1932. Underneath Washington's neck you'll see the letter D. That's the mint mark, and it tells us that this coin was made at the Denver Mint. So whenever you see a D on your 1998 quarter, that's what it means. It's a Denver minted coin. Now, here's an important detail. The U.S. Mint made an enormous number of 1998 D quarters, over 821 million of them. That's right, hundreds of millions of these coins were struck and released into circulation. Because so many were made, most 1998 D quarters are very common and easy to find in your pocket change today. They are made of copper and nickel, just like other modern quarters, and they do not contain any silver. The coin weighs about 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and features a copper-colored stripe along the edge, which is the pure copper core showing through the nickel coating. Because there were so many 1998 D quarters made, and because they don't have any silver in them, most of them are only worth their face value of 25 cents. That means if you have one that's been used in circulation, even if it looks a little shiny, it probably isn't worth more than a quarter. However, the story gets more interesting when you start talking about coins that are in perfect or near perfect condition, or those that have minting mistakes, also known as errors. That's when values can jump up dramatically. Let's first talk about condition. In the coin collecting world, condition means everything. Coins are graded on a scale that starts from poor condition, where the design is barely visible, all the way up to mint state 70, which means the coin is completely flawless even under a magnifying glass. Most coins you find in your pocket are considered circulated, meaning they've been used for years and show scratches, dirt, and wear. A circulated 1998 D quarter is worth only 25 cents. Or maybe a tiny bit more if it's in really good shape. But if your coin looks brand new, no scratches, full shine, and crisp details, it might be considered uncirculated. Uncirculated 1998 D quarters can sell for about $1 to $10, depending on how clean and bright they are. Now, if you have a coin that looks absolutely perfect, the next step is to have it professionally graded. Professional grading companies like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, can evaluate the exact condition of your coin and give it an official grade. Once graded, the coin is sealed inside a clear plastic holder that protects it, and shows its grade and serial number. Collectors trust these companies, so certified coins usually sell for higher prices than ungraded ones. For example, a regular 1998 D quarter that grades around mint state 65 might be worth somewhere between $5 and $15. That's not a fortune, but it's more than face value. A coin graded MS66 or MS67 can be worth more, anywhere from $50 to $200, depending on demand and how perfect it looks. The higher the grade, the rarer it becomes. Coins graded MS68 or higher are very difficult to find because most coins made for circulation have tiny marks or imperfections from the minting process. A 1998 D quarter graded MS68 might sell for a few $100, and in some cases, examples like these have sold for around $500 or more at auction. However, there are no confirmed sales of a normal 1998 D quarter reaching $3,500 just because of its condition alone. The only way one could get close to that kind of value is if it also has a rare minting error in addition to being in perfect condition. Now let's talk about those minting errors, because that's where things get really interesting. Errors happen when something goes wrong during the coin-making process, and collectors love them because they are unusual and rare. There are a few types of errors that can appear on a 1998 D Washington quarter. One of the most common is called a doubled die. This happens when the design is accidentally struck twice but slightly misaligned, causing parts of the design to appear doubled. You can sometimes see this doubling on the letters in Liberty, the motto, In God We Trust, or the numbers in the date. Strong double die errors are quite rare and can be worth anywhere from a few hundred to a few $1,000s, depending on how noticeable the doubling is. Another error that adds value is an off-center strike. This means the coin wasn't perfectly centered when it was struck, so part of the design is missing or shifted toward one edge. A slight off-center error, maybe 5 or 10%, might be worth $50 or so, while a coin that's dramatically off-center, say 50% or more, could be worth hundreds of dollars, especially if the date and mint mark are still visible. One of the most valuable types of errors is when a coin is struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the blank piece of metal used to make the coin was intended for another denomination. For example, if a 1998 D quarter was accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a dime, it would be smaller and lighter than normal. Errors like that can be worth several $100s or even more than $1,000, depending on the specific case. There are even extremely rare examples of quarters being struck on silver planchets, left over from older silver coins, though this is very unlikely for a 1998 quarter because silver had not been used in quarters for more than 30 years by then. Still, if such an error were confirmed, it could be worth thousands. There are also other types of mint errors that can occur, like missing clad layer errors, where part of the coin's nickel coating is missing, exposing the copper core underneath. These coins have a two-tone look and can be worth between $100 and $500 depending on how much of the clad layer is missing and how good the condition is. Another rare error is a die break or cut, which looks like a raised blob of extra metal on the coin caused by a damaged die. Some collectors love these, and values can vary widely depending on how large and dramatic the error is. Now, back to the $3,500 story. You might have seen online videos or articles claiming that a 1998 D quarter sold for thousands of dollars. While there are some auctions that reached high numbers for error coins or top-graded examples, the average coin won't come close to that. The truth is that the $3,500 value likely comes from a rare error example, or an exceptionally high-grade coin certified by a professional grading service. There is no ordinary 1998 D quarter that is automatically worth that much just because it's from that year or mint. So if you find one in your change, don't get too excited right away, but don't throw it away either. It's still worth checking carefully. When you examine your 1998 D quarter, start by looking at the mint mark. You should see the letter D on the front of the coin, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. That tells you it was made in Denver. Next, look at the edge. You should see a visible copper stripe along the side. That's normal because the coin is made of copper sandwiched between nickel layers. If the edge looks completely silver all the way around, you might want to weigh it on a precise scale. A normal clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs more than that, it could be an error coin, possibly struck on a wrong planchet. If you suspect you have something unusual, take it to a local coin shop or a professional grader. They can tell you if it's a true mint error or just normal wear. Another thing to remember is never to clean your coin. Cleaning can scratch the surface and destroy its natural shine, which greatly reduces its value. Even if you think you're making it look better, collectors prefer coins in their original state, with natural toning and patina. If you want to protect your coin, handle it carefully by the edges and store it in a soft holder, coin flip, or airtight capsule. So let's review the possible values for a 1998 D Washington quarter. A circulated one, the kind you find in pocket change, is worth 25 cents to maybe $1 at most. A nice uncirculated coin might be worth between $2 and $10. A higher grade coin, like MS-65 or MS-66, can be worth $20 to $100, and coins in grades MS-67 or MS-68 can reach several $100s if certified. Special error coins, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or wrong planchet errors, can range anywhere from $100 to $1,000 or even higher in rare situations. The most valuable examples, coins with major verified errors or perfect grades, can approach that $3,500 figure you sometimes hear about, but those are truly exceptional and extremely rare. The bottom line is this: the 1998 Washington quarter is a common coin, but that doesn't mean it's not worth looking at closely. It's a piece of American history that represents the last year of the classic eagle design before the mint moved to the state quarters program, which millions of people collected. And while it's unlikely you'll find one worth thousands, the fun of coin collecting is that you never know what might show up. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story is worth more than the metal itself. If you think your coin might be valuable, get a second opinion from a professional. Don't rely solely on videos or posts claiming certain coins are worth thousands without evidence. Always check actual sales from trusted auction sites or grading company records. Sometimes a coin might be listed for $3,500 online, but that doesn't mean anyone actually bought it for that price. So, next time you see a shiny 1998 quarter in your pocket, take a good look before spending it. Check for errors, look at the condition, and see if it could be something special. Even if it's not worth a fortune, it's still a cool piece to keep in your collection. Who knows, you might be the lucky one to find that rare high-grade or error example worth hundreds or maybe even a few $1,000s. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope this helped you understand the true value of the 1998 Washington quarter and how to spot one that might be worth more than face value. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends who love coins. And if you have a 1998 quarter, tell us in the comments. Maybe yours could be one of those rare valuable ones. Take care everyone, and happy coin collecting.